honeybees, welcome to this video about words of power. This is a creative collaboration with the eyewear company Zinff, and I will get more into talking about that later in the video. I embrace my wildness and I harness the deep raw power within it. I wrap myself in a wild cloak and wander with my mind open into the dark. I accept my challenges, I feed them with focus, and I rise to them with love. I am married to myself. This marriage is the central relationship of my life. I am surrounded by loving friends and shimmering connections which deeply inspire me. I am whole on my own, steadfast, healthy, strong and in control. I hold my own counsel and deal with my own problems. Everywhere there are mysteries waiting to be witnessed. Every day the excitement of the unknown feeds me. The people in my life are fortunate to have me, and I am so fortunate to have them in return. I marvel at the many ways that spirit makes itself known to me. Belief in the beauty and possibility of the moment is my religion. I have been with myself through each and every darkness and hardship, and all I can do is marvel at my strength. Hey Sugar Plums, what you just heard were some of my words of power, or my affirmations, whatever you want to call them. I think of them as being basically interchangeable. I like to use the term words of power. I think of affirmations as being actually shorter in length usually, so that's why I would be inclined to also call those phrases that you just heard affirmations. Words of power might be statements, so they might run for a few sentences, but basically those are words that I sat down at a certain point in time, usually of a morning, and I wrote down because I felt like I needed to really connect with the place inside myself where those words were true and where that desire was true and that vision for myself and my life and my mindset was as true as it could be. And for me, a lot of the power that I gain in my spiritual practice and in my life more widely is gained via the power and the strength and intensity of words. You know, words are a really big thing for me, really important. And I tend to find that if I take my words and I connect my words to what it is that I want to bring in, what it is that I want to push away or release, what it is that I envision being the best course of action for me. When I do that, when I take the words and I kind of connect them to those things, amazing stuff starts happening and I feel better and I really start to see incredible, strong results. So for me, affirmations, words of power, statements of commitment, all that kind of stuff is really important. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that have made it easier for me to use words of power, affirmations, you know, strong statements of intention, and write them down and read them aloud and have them actually be a part of what makes things different for me, better for me, stronger, more grounded, more potent, more exciting, more successful. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about theme. Okay, so when I wake up in the morning, there's so many different ways that that sentence could end in a song lyric, but let me not. When I wake up in the morning, I have my journal. I have my spiritual journal. I have my mundane journal. If you want to look a little bit at the different journals that I use, the different notebooks and stuff like that, I will leave a video down below that is basically taking you on a tour of the different items of paper that I use in the average morning. And sometimes I will think to myself, today I need some words of power. I need some strong affirmations that will help me to overcome a challenge or to really link in to what it is that I need to feel and think most, or what I need to achieve most. As I sit and think about what the words of power are going to be, what are the key words that I need to use, I'm thinking about themes. And really what I'm doing is I'm checking in with what is worrying me most of all. Is there something specific that is really worrying me? Is there something significant that I've got to do that particular day? And then I consider what I want the words of power to be in relation to that challenge or that desire or whatever. So I'm never just randomly writing affirmations, randomly writing statements of intention with no real objective in mind. There is usually a very strong objective in mind. This is the book I use at the moment for my words of power, statements of intention, scripting, affirmations, and stuff like that. So if I look through this book and I pick out a particular day, I can tell you already what I was going through on that particular day. So here I can see in mid-September, I wrote a bunch of affirmations that I know right off the bat are about good time management. So I obviously was worried that I was going to be wasting time, wasting the day, not doing what I wanted to set out to really do. And that was what was on my mind at the time. So I wrote the affirmation, I bring power to every single hour. You know, kind of a bit of a tacky sounding rhyming one, but it worked for me at the time, you know. And I also put here, I move through my day with intention. I know when it's time to arrive and I know when it's time to go. For me, I'm aware that this collection of affirmations is based around the theme of time management. I'm thinking about time management. I'm probably thinking about management of energy, because I want to be really intentional. Obviously, I'm worried that I'm going to move through the day without that sense of intention. And that is my key desire, my key aim. So I know why I wrote those affirmations. You know, they really connect me with what I was concerned about at the time. More recently, I have had to deal with a pretty big challenge, something I'm really afraid of dealing with, and something that, you know, will take a lot of energy and time, but something that I know I need to do. So I've written my first affirmation for the day. I am brave. I take care of what needs to be done. And then the second affirmation is completing my mission feels wondrous, and I feel myself glowing when I cross the finish line. I've also got here, imagining difficult future scenarios does not serve me. I release useless, heavy visions. I really love that particular affirmation. That really did it for me. When I wrote it down, I got all fizzy and tingly, and that's a good sign for when the affirmation is really cooking on gas and when it's really connecting you with what you most need to do and it's inspiring you, is that as you write it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that really hits the spot. That is what I mean, and that is what I want to really bring to the core of me today. Can I just say, just a little bit of an aside, but I really love the last affirmation I wrote in this book. It was written yesterday and it says, waiting for someone to save me is not an option. I love that one. I write my affirmations and my words of power on a lot of mornings, but definitely not all mornings, because a lot of the time, if I want to connect with my words of power, statements of intention that I've written, I can use ones that I have already written. And sometimes there'll be tabs in the top of this book where I'm actually going back over a former collection of words of power that I wrote previously, and I'm using them, I'm clicking in with them, I'm going over them, I'm maybe using them for the whole week or whatever. So as you write more affirmations, as you write more words of power along the way, the book that you are using becomes kind of like a sacred text in itself. And that means that you do not have to write affirmations and words of power and stuff super regularly if you don't want to. You can go back over ones that you wrote that you know are tried and tested. They really do the job. They really click you into what it is you want to do. They click you into your sense of self, your sense of desire, whatever it might be. So you don't want to keep rehashing that ground when you would prefer to basically just be using those same affirmations again, you know? So definitely put a lot of stock and a lot of credit into the former affirmations, the ones you've already written, and think to yourself, oh, you know what, I'm going to go back to that collection or to those key 3 or 5 affirmations that I know always do the trick. I personally really like to say the affirmations out loud once I've written them. I might say them a few times. I might take some deep breaths. I might look in the mirror, because I actually have a mirror on my altar, in the center of my altar space. I've noticed more and more people doing this over the course of time, actually. I had never seen it before when I did it, but it's interesting that it's become something that more and more people are taking to, is having a permanent mirror in the center of the altar, which I think is really great. Maybe I was a trendsetter in that regard, who knows? But yeah, it's really great to have the ability to be able to do instant mirror work when you are at your altar. And also it encourages you to do mirror work. So So sometimes I take a few deep breaths, I look into my mirror in the center of the altar, and I will say the affirmations that I have just written. Sometimes I come back around to them in the evening, I say them again, or I reflect on whether or not I actually managed to steer my life in that direction or steer my decision making in that direction. Probably one of the most frustrating things for people about using affirmations is that they don't like the feeling of faking it to make it. So as you'll notice, a lot of affirmations, they're written in the present tense. You don't have to write affirmations that way, but a lot of the time the way that it's encouraged when you see people talking about it or teaching it is you're encouraged to write your affirmations in the present tense. So I am strong, I am capable, I am healthy, I am wise, I am sovereign to myself, instead of saying I want to be or I will be, I intend to be, that is what I desire, you are encouraged to write your affirmations as though that thing that you want, that thing that you're maybe worried about not having, is a thing that you already have. And a lot of people say to me whenever I suggest affirmations, using words of power, strong statements of intent, people say to me, well, the thing is, Kellyanne, I really don't like all that present tense stuff because I don't feel XYZ, I don't feel, let's say, creatively potent. I don't feel spiritually strong and capable. I don't feel like a powerful spellcaster. So why would I say those things as though they are true in the now? And I actually understand that. I do not like to write affirmations that are completely in contrast to what I really think and feel and believe about myself. But nor do I want to shy away from connecting with something that is very present and very in the now, because I think that we only really have true agency in the now, okay? Unless we're talking about astral shit, but that's different. That was a half joke. We only really have agency in the now. We can only really affect anything truly in our lives right now, in the present. So I think it's really potent to talk about what we have at our disposal right now, what our powers are right now. I don't really want to write an affirmation that feels completely dishonest. Like there is no part of me, there is no cell in my body that really believes that affirmation that I'm saying, those words that I'm saying. So I do understand, but I think what I tend to do with my affirmations is I keep them in the present tense. Obviously, all the affirmations you've heard are present tense. But I tend to find that if I connect more to my beliefs, my core values, the things that I know are a part of my philosophy, then even if I haven't been embodying that philosophy for the last several months, the affirmation is not a lie. It is based on absolute purity and truth. It is based on that essence of what is happening in the core of me, so that even if I haven't been living up to what is in the core of me, even if my actions have not been, embodying my philosophy, it doesn't matter, because the truth is that philosophy is what is underlying some of the unhelpful behaviors that I've been exhibiting. And I want to make a really strong example for you here. I'm just going to talk about a few affirmations that are to do with physical health and wellness. So they are to do with my exercise regime. They are to do with healthy eating. I want to let you know that that is what I'm going to be talking about for the next little bit of time, because I know that not everybody is into discussing things like physical health and wellness, like exercise and food. So if that's not your bag, if that's not your cup of tea, that's fine. I'm not in any way, okay, trying to tell you that you need to exercise if you don't want to, or you need to change up your diet if you don't want to, whatever it might be. This is literally, these are literally affirmations that I wrote for myself, okay? So I'm not trying to be prescriptive about what you do, but I want to really demonstrate to you strongly what happens when you are very far away from what it is that you want to bring in. So you've been really acting out of alignment with your philosophy. You have not been showcasing your philosophy through your actions and decisions, but you want to use affirmations to bring your philosophy home to you again and really lock into it with potency. So I'm going to show you some affirmations that specifically I wrote for my physical health and wellness, my food and my exercise, and I want to demonstrate to you how I can still very much use present tense affirmations without feeling like I'm lying and I'm faking it. And I want to show you what the difference would be for me personally, because I understand that bridge where it's like, I don't feel like I can use affirmations because it seems like they're kind of me just lying and saying things out loud that are completely not based on the reality I'm living. And I understand that. And for me as well, I can't say things that are too far away from the reality of what I'm going through. And that is why I tend to focus on my philosophy, my beliefs, because those things are true whether or not I've been acting out, There's a little bit of a treat happening here, darlings, in terms of, my privacy and access to my my life and my witchhood, because you are now looking at my book of shadows, and I have never shown this on the channel before. I really will. I'm intending to do, you know, like a full tour of my book of shadows at some point. As you can see, of course, predictably, it is a Filofax A5 domino. I mean, why would you not have that as your book of shadows? That's my question. Works for me in my world anyway. So the affirmations and the words of power that I have in my A5 Filofax domino are, in the beginning anyway, in the first part of it, are related to health and wellness. Let me read you some. Okay. So let me see. Here we go. Training enhances my mood, clears my mind, and enables me to deal with my problems. I think that's a really strong affirmation. It affirms what it is that I want to bring in, which is more training. And it affirms what it is that I really, truly believe and I know is correct for me. Training, regular training, consistency with training. Now, at the time that I wrote this, I was really in dire need of going back to training. I felt really, let's just say I felt crappy, okay? And I had not been doing the work that I knew I wanted to do and, you know, really attending to my physical health and wellness as I want to. And so for me, it wouldn't have made sense to write something like, I am lean, strong, capable, I train every day, you know, like I am smashing my training, I'm fitter than I've ever been, I feel so strong in my core. My core is very important to me because I have a back injury. Those things wouldn't have really cut the mustard for me personally. Now, I know sometimes it's really good to just go to the best case scenario, go to the strongest or most potent you've ever felt and speak your affirmation from there. And I do that a little bit more in my scripting. Scripting is different. Scripting is where I feel like I'm writing a creative story about what I want to bring into being. And scripting will usually be much longer form. So with scripting, I will write like, I wake up and I have my breakfast and this is what I have for breakfast. I'm walking to the gym. This is everything I can see on the way. I feel so refreshed. I'm so excited for my workout. I'm in the gym and I actually creatively write it. So it will usually be a page or two of A5 if I'm going to be scripting. To me, that's different from short and sweet affirmations, you know, statements, words of power. And the main difference is that I don't always have time for scripting. You know, who does? Basically, we're busy people. So, you know, I don't always have time for that. It's lovely to have the luxury of time for scripting. I really enjoy that, but I don't always have it. So, you know, affirmations are different. And with affirmations, I'm really looking to get to the core of my philosophy, my truth about what I really think I want to be doing most of all. And when I come back to my philosophy, my belief structure, it very much cuts through the crap for me personally. And I feel like I can really then take it from thought to action. Working towards my fitness goals is a priority in my life. Again, that is a strong affirmation that doesn't have anything to do with saying like I'm at peak fitness and I'm, you know, amazing at this or whatever, when I'm actually not yet. I'm a long way from that. And again, if you write the type of affirmations where you are writing about that amazing lofty end goal, the end of the process, and you're saying I am there, I am at the top of the mountain, I am Rocky or whatever, then that's great. That's awesome if that works for you. But I'm talking specifically now to the people that doesn't work for, you know what I mean? So I've also put here, my fitness training makes me a stronger, happier and kinder person. Do I believe that? Yes. Is it motivational and inspirational? Yes, it is. I am committed to building strength and bringing total focus to my training. I am committed to that. I was committed to that at the time. Was I carrying it out? Not so much, you know, but it's there. The philosophy is there. You know, rather than say something like, I don't know, I'm reaping the benefit of all the incredible commitment that I have shown to my training. My body looks like this. I feel like this now because of all this commitment. I might have felt at the time like that wasn't going to be inspirational because it was very much in contrast to the truth of my situation. Now, I do definitely sometimes like to do affirmations that have more of a sort of future oriented tone to them, where I visualize myself where I'm going to be. So let's have a look at some of the healthy eating ones. Let's have a little look. I consume only high vibe sustenance and I feel it nourish every cell in my body. And that was not true at the time. You know, I was not doing that. So to say I consume only high vibe sustenance, you know, certainly I'm taking myself to that space where I want that to be my reality, and I'm saying that that is my will. It is a little bit more future oriented in the sense that I'm placing myself in the present where I'd like myself to be in the future, and I'm making it now. I'm feeling into what that will be and the majesty of that, and I'm making it now, you know? So I definitely do a little bit of those kinds of affirmations as well. I am a highly disciplined eater. At the time, that was not true. And that's okay. That's all right. And there will be a point in my life where it's not true again. You know, we can't have total discipline in every area all the time. We can't. It's not possible. I don't believe that it's possible. I don't want it to be. We're always going to fall down. We're always going to have to go back and rework something or rewire something or readdress something. So I'm not writing these affirmations because I never want to have to speak them again. I'm keeping them in my book of shadows because they're very close to my heart, and they're things I know I have a massive challenge with at times. And so I really want to keep refreshing that commitment. This one here is very untrue. It was very untrue for where I was at the time. I have a strong, deep urge to eat healthy, nutritious foods. At the time, I had a strong, deep urge to eat things that I knew consistently were just like lowering my mood, putting me into a sugar crash, and making my depression worse. Okay, facts. But it's really good sometimes to, you know, connect with your philosophy in a way where you are describing a scenario. But as I said, I usually describe the scenario that I desire in scripting, which is much more kind of like long-winded and descriptive, obviously. I don't usually have time for that every day. If you're not comfortable writing your own affirmations, if you're not comfortable thinking up words of power, I would recommend that you use song lyrics that you like, that have made a deep impression on you, use quotes from books that are really important to you, use quotes from films that are really important to you, and you can go through them on the beads. If you have beads, rosary, mala, whatever it might be, custom beads, or even just a set of like paste pearls or plastic beads from a charity shop work absolutely fine, and I have gone through them as well. And if you're wondering how you do a full rotation of the beads, the way that I do it is I just grab a little bit of blue tack and wrap it around one of the beads, so I know when I've done the full set, whatever that set might be. So that works wonders for me, honestly. So yeah, you can go around on the beads and say them. You can say them aloud into a mirror, as I mentioned that I do. You do not have to speak them aloud at all. You can just write them down and read them and reread them, or you can try writing them a number of times. You know, sometimes that reminds people of doing lines in detention at school. Not nice, not a great memory. So obviously if you don't like that, don't do it. But sometimes people do find, a little bit like the repetition on the mala, that actually writing the same small statement of intention or statement of power a few times can work wonders. If you like, you can record your voice saying the affirmation over and over. Maybe record yourself saying it 10 times, and then you can listen back, you can listen back to yourself saying it 10 times. So you almost get the benefit of saying it and actually hearing the words leave your body and feeling how you feel when you say those words. And then you can also listen back to yourself. I know that's not, again, everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody is into listening back. But I think for some people this could work really well. And I want to mention that, you know, for me, when I use affirmations this way, I'm not thinking of them as an absolute, you know, non-negotiable, unbreakable promise to myself where I would have to be angry with myself if I didn't, you know, live in alignment with the affirmation that day. I'm thinking of it more as a nice mindfulness bell and a way to lock in with my intention in the morning. So it's to bring me back to my sense of what's important, and it's to lock me into how I want to move through the world and the conviction I want to move through the world with on any particular day. Just because you might say some affirmations on a particular day that are to do with a specific goal or intention doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're going to be working on. It's not the only thing you're going to have your eye on for the day. It's just basically what is the most pertinent, what is the most important thing for you, so that you can make sure you're really locked into that. I never worry about trying to write affirmations that cover every single area of my life every day. I just wake up and I think, do I need any words of power today around a specific challenge or a specific thing, you know, that I really want to achieve? And if the case is yes, I need some new words of power, I write them. And if I want to reread some ones that I've already written, then, you know, I'll go ahead and do that. Don't be afraid to share your affirmations. You know, if you know that there's somebody else in your life that could really do with the affirmation that you've just tried for yourself, that you felt was really powerful, and you know that they would be open to that kind of thing, they're looking for those kinds of things to use, don't be afraid to take take those tools and actually pass them on where they might be needed in online communities or with a loved one that you know would benefit from some really strong, deep-rooted words of power. And obviously they're welcome to tweak those things as they see fit. I actually started sharing my affirmations actually from my book. I take a photo of the pages in the book and then I also type out the words. I've been sharing them over on my Patreon. You can find out more about the different tiers of my Patreon down below. Please click the link and go over. We have lots of fun stuff happening. We have a Discord, we have printables and things like that. With the higher tiers, we have live calls and things. But yeah, I just tend to lately take photos of my affirmations book and tell people what I've been using, which words of power I've been using for myself. And people have been saying that that is very useful to them. So I will continue on and do that. So, you know, sharing is caring. When you've got yourself a good affirmation, why keep it to yourself when you know it's been so powerful for you? Darlings, I'm very happy to take this opportunity to talk about the company that I went into a creative collaboration with for this video, if you will. The company is called Zinff. Now, it was really interesting because I hadn't had an eye test for about 3 years, and just as I said to my friend, let's book eye tests, I really want to have an eye test, this company contacted me. Now, I get contacted by a lot of companies asking me if I would like to collaborate, if I would like to receive some product from them and do something with it. Usually I'm very sort of, I've got kind of my mind is on railroad tracks when it comes to what I'm going to be doing, what videos are coming out, etc. And so I don't usually feel like I can just, you know, spontaneously and naturally slip some kind of sponsored product in or something I've been sent. And I don't really want to have to come away from my message to do that. So I usually turn these offers down. I definitely want to have a more visual element in my videos though of late. So it's possible I may say yes to a few more products than I previously have, which is like 0. But I'm happy that the first company that I said yes to was Zinff. It was really odd because, as I said, I was having an eye test. I just booked in an eye test, and then this amazing eyewear company got in touch with me and said, we like the glasses that you already wear. And I know I get a lot of compliments on the glasses that I've worn over the years. I definitely pick kind of like, you know, sort of eye-catching frames, and they asked me if I wanted to wear some of theirs and test them out. So I said yes. I received 3 pairs. You would have seen them earlier in the sort of creative video segment that I did with my affirmations in there. At the moment, I'm wearing the Catwoman cat eye frame, and this is in black and gold. But I've also got the links for the other 2 pairs down below as well. I wore the Aura Geometric Gold, which was like the, you know, the very more subtle, almost hexagonal ones, and then the Makini Square Clear Orange, which I know actually loads of people are going to love. Oh my goddess, look at them. I literally love them so much. They're definitely the ones I wear the most often, I must say, day to day. The quality of these glasses is incredible. They're not rickety, they don't feel fragile or weak, they are very strong. They come very nicely packaged, these glasses, in fully recyclable cardboard packaging with the brand name there, and then you pull it out and you've also got the little glasses cleaning thing in here, which is useful to have, again with Zinff written on it. I really am so happy that I chose to give these guys a go. I think the glasses are incredible. You basically just contact them with your prescription and then you go ahead and select the frames that you want. There's a really lovely choice of frames. There are some that are very subtle. There are some that, you know, are literally just glass without frame. You've got all different colors there. So I think there's a really nice selection to choose from. I think there's lots of interesting companies coming out doing frames at the moment, but I tend to find when I've looked before that they either have really wild out there frames or they have very subtle, more suitable for work frames, whereas I think Zinff sort of has this nice balance between the two, I must say. Zinff have very kindly given me a code to share with you guys where you can get 50% off of any frames and 10% off of any lenses. So if you use code Maddox, you'll be able to shop for frames yourself, see what you like and get a significant discount there. So I'm really happy that Zinff allowed me to take this opportunity to test the products out, to give you this honest review, and yeah, use the discount code. Go right ahead, be my guest and enjoy. Oh, energy of creativity, you are my blade, my bed, my bounty. The will of my heart is strong because it is the heart of the witch. It is the heart of the warrior. It is the heart of someone sincere. I drink the medicine of my own failures. I come back brighter as the result of my misunderstandings. Energized by mysteries and by the unknown, I am the eternal pupil, wide-eyed, open-hearted, ready to learn. I am more ready to be there for myself every single day. I am loyal to myself. When I make a promise to myself, I keep it. The tea I drink is the elixir of life. The water flowing over me in the shower is a miracle. I am a powerhouse. I am an artist. My creator energy is gigantic, majestic, delicious. When I feel frustrated by all that I cannot change, it's because I'm so filled with love and purpose. My frustration is a sign of my passion. I alchemize my frustration into sacred action. If you have not really worked with affirmations in the mornings before and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what happens if I just write the affirmation and then I forget all about it, I don't come back to it, I never reference it and it doesn't really go in? I think that there's certain ways of being able to deal with that. If you write a strong affirmation and you know that's where it is, that's what I want to keep bringing myself to over the course of the day, don't be afraid to set an alarm where, you know, at certain points in the day, the alarm will go off and you will be able to read that affirmation because that's what you've kind of named that alarm on your phone. You can also write affirmations on post-it notes. You can put them on your bathroom mirror. You can put them in your planner. You can put them somewhere in your car, on the dashboard, something like that. So you can kind of find ways that you will lock back into that affirmation later in the day. If you eat a banana for lunch, one thing I used to love was writing a quote on a banana. So you definitely could, because it feels so good to write on a banana. Who else has written on a banana skin with a biro? Honestly, you can't lie about it. You know it's pleasurable. There's something about it, all right? It's 6 to the power of a sneeze, okay, writing on a banana. So you can take your biro, write your affirmation on your banana. Then later on when you pull out your banana, that's another opportunity just before you nourish yourself with beautiful potassium, courtesy of Mother Nature. You can say your affirmation. So I think there's different ways, you know, that you can keep revisiting it, keep coming back around to it. Honestly, you might just want to go for the old faithful and write it on your hand. You can see here that I actually have writing on my hand because I am a one to write things on my hand, which is remarkable considering I work from home and I'm surrounded by some of the most beautiful stationery anybody could be lucky enough to own, and yet I still have to have a little scrawl on my hand, okay, force of habit. Don't be afraid to be distinctly poetic with your words of power. If you feel like all you want to do is combine some words together, you don't even necessarily want to make a sentence, you just want to combine some words together. Maybe you want to say sacred, golden, nourishment, abundance. And that's what you want to say. That's what you want to keep repeating all day. Sacred, golden, nourishment, abundance. Sacred, golden, nourishment, abundance. Do that. That's fine. You do not need to make a statement that is about your philosophy or that's about the way that you view things or, you know, the highest possible values you have or the way you want to feel or whatever. You can literally just say something that is more abstract, that is more poetic. I think sometimes that works really well. I think sometimes just having one word that you decide on works really well too. You also don't have to write affirmations as often as I've described writing them. You can choose an affirmation or 3 affirmations for the month if you want and rotate through them, cycle through them. You can choose a word of power or a statement of intention for the week and just use that and keep, you know, having that repetition that lasts for more than 24 hours. And as I said, if you have strong collections of words that you've written in the past, then go back to them. Do not worry yourself with constantly creating fresh content with affirmations, words of power, etc. You don't need to keep doing that if you know that you've got strong ones that you've already written, you've already used. Go back to them, you know, and just use them. Thank you so much for giving me this time to explain a little bit about how affirmations work for me, the best possible ways I've found of using them. Obviously, this is just my opinion. For me, the importance of that caveat has become, you know, really significant with the rise of very, very short form media nowadays. I feel like the tone that is being set is very much like, do this, this works, don't do that, that's shit, that's bad, this is good. Because I think if you're trying to pack that into like 30 seconds or a minute, you're trying to pack your message in there and you want it to go as viral as possible, there can definitely be a danger of speaking in absolutes. And you guys know I've never been about that. I'm always about just saying, this is what I found, this is what works for me. And I think I particularly wanted to make a video about affirmations because so many people have said to me, they don't work for me, they feel like lying, they feel like deceiving myself, they feel like I'm not being honest with myself. And I totally understand that point of view, but I feel I've also found a way to make it work for me. So that's why I specifically wanted to make sure that I put some advice out on this. But it's definitely not, I'm not speaking in absolute. I'm not saying this is the way it needs to be done. I'm just putting something out there for you to chew on and see what you can take from it. So don't forget, darling, you can go to the Zinff website, use the code MADDOX and get yourself your 50% off your frames, 10% off lenses. Let me know, what did you think of this video? What is your relationship with the concept of affirmations? Do you use affirmations? What else do you use in terms of words to get yourself in the zone, get yourself living life the way that you want to be? So much love until next time, my darlings, and blessed be. Mwah.